Before we get into the meat of this video, I want it to be clear that I've waited so long to talk about this game because I have such strong feelings about it. I really wanted to sit on how I was feeling to make sure that it was correct. And, I used to be someone who would judge a game solely on how I felt about the gameplay or how I personally felt about the story. And I really tried this entire past week to really garner as much as I could about Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, try to think about it from all different angles. But for me, it has not changed how I feel. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is one of the most disappointing games I've played in a while. It's really not a fun game for me. I think I personally have not felt so strongly about a game since probably The Last of Us Part 2, and then before then, probably not ever. I really feel that Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League is a game that I have absolutely just been distraught from playing. Now, I want to say that this video is going to have spoilers. I think that's super obvious, but most people have either seen the gameplay, have played the game, know about the story, all that stuff. But if you don't and you're waiting to play the game for yourself, click off now. I'm just going to randomly be throwing spoilers in here and there. So this video does not have a structure. This is a full ramble review because I'm going off of my base emotion of disappointment. But why am I disappointed? Well, because Rocksteady as a publisher, as a game developer, just as a studio, has never really missed, in my opinion. I think that this is their first huge miss, and it's a disrespectful miss at that, and I'll get into it. But really, if you think about Rocksteady, you obviously think about the early Arkham games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and how these are two of the best rated, best loved, most talked about, not just superhero games ever, but single player games ever. These two games set the standard for single-player experiences, for superhero game experiences, for combat, for traversal, for so much. These games inspired so many of our favorite games, and they continue to be the blueprint, and I think they should have always been the blueprint. Now, obviously, Arkham Knight is a game that a lot of people have differing opinions on. I personally never saw how it would be better than City because to me, Arkham City is a perfect video game or as close to perfect as a video game can be. So I really never saw them being able to capture the same magic twice. But that doesn't mean I didn't have hopes for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. One of the reasons my hopes were actually pretty decent for this game was because I felt like the story was so unique and the concept was something that I could really get behind. I know I said in my last Suicide Squad video that I'm just not really into the whole bad guys being good guys anymore. Like, it's just, I feel like after the two Suicide Squad movies, the Bird of Prey movie, and the animated shows and everything like that, I'm just burnt out from it. But I was still holding out hope that just because Rocksteady's name is on the cover, that they would do it justice. Because I personally feel like the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie is the only great Suicide Squad project that we've gotten outside of like comics, obviously. That movie is so great because it makes you care about these characters. It makes them human while also giving them character development and showing that bad guys can be good people but just doing the wrong thing because of wrong reasons. You can do the wrong action for the right reasons, but you can also do the right action for the wrong reasons. And that is kind of where this game falls under, is the Suicide Squad is seemingly killing the Justice League and stopping Brainiac just so that way they do not die. Obviously, that's like a fundamental thing for the Suicide Squad, right? Is if they don't listen to Waller, they will be killed. and it has always been a cornerstone. It will always be a cornerstone for them. But I just feel like the execution in this game was severely lacking. But that's not to take away the good aspects of this game. The voice acting in this game is phenomenal. I think that Rocksteady really does a good job of not only picking people to play characters, but to get the best performances out of them. I think Kevin Conroy did a fantastic job as Batman in this game. I feel like every single person was hitting the marks. It never really felt like lines fell flat, even though I actually have a hot take about the facial animations, but that's a different thing. I think the graphics are overall good when you are inside of buildings. Like the Daily Bugle's inside area felt so much like Rocksteady that it was just something I really enjoyed looking through. Now, when you get to the city, it's a little bit of a different story, but again, I'll cover that in a little bit. I think the music was good. I think that the sounds for the guns were good. Now, I was going into this already hating the gunplay because I played the alpha test. It grew on me a little bit at the beginning. As the game progressed, that changed. But I think in terms of if you enjoy looter shooter type of games, I think the gameplay here is actually super solid. I think that as a shooter, it's designed really well. Again, I don't like that style of gameplay anymore. I think it's way too repetitive in this game as well, but I think fundamentally it's really great. And that's it. That's all the good. Now, let's talk about the bad. Before I do, though, I'm going to be bringing up Batman and the late Kevin Conroy, okay? I don't like that people are using Kevin's passing as a shot at Rocksteady, okay? This game has been in development for 9 years. Kevin knew what he was signing on for. You kind of hear him having fun throughout the entire game because he's actually in a large amount of this game in terms of just his voice. And I think that he knew what he was getting into. Now, it is not Rocksteady's fault that he passed away. They might not have even known, okay? It could have been like a Chadwick Boseman situation where they found out when we did, or they found out a little bit before we did. I don't know. I'm not doing my research on it. But, you know, Kevin is a great actor, and this game highlights that even more, okay? So if you attack Rocksteady because of Kevin's passing, you're a piece of shit, and that's just it. Like, there's no other way around it. Okay, that's it. That's all the good. I'm done praising this game. I'm going to rip into it for a little bit, and then we're going to get out of here. Where to start? This game starts off hot. It starts off good, even great, at some of those early starting missions. After Wonder Woman dies, this game falls apart completely. I think Wonder Woman's death in this game is the only great portion of the game, and it is the best part of the game because the animation is beautiful, the story behind it is great. Obviously, like, the Suicide Squad is just kind of standing and watching. That I didn't like. I feel like Superman should have just, like, wounded them so that way they didn't just watch Wonder Woman get killed, but they were afraid, so whatever. Stupid. But her death was actually sad, and it makes you feel something, and you're like, wow, Rocksteady might have done it. They might have crafted an experience where I can kill the Suicide Squad and actually feel emotions from it. And they did not. Every single main member of the Justice League that you kill in this game dies the same way. You shoot them, they fall down afterwards. It's almost like a death animation, except it's not. They just flop over like flaccidly, and then either Harley or Deadshot or Boomerang or King Shark just like kills them, like shoots them in the head, and that's it. Now, I'm not someone that dislikes that because it's disrespectful, even though I think it is. But superheroes, and my friend Sway said this really well to me in Discord because we were texting about the game, superheroes die in disrespecting ways all the time. And again, before this game came out, I was defending the decision to kill the Justice League because I think it's a unique thing. Obviously, we've probably have seen it before, but we've never seen it as a game before. We've never gotten to kill the Justice League in a video game before. And they just fucked it up, man. Like, this game is so dull in its execution. They had such a great concept for it and just missed the mark completely. I think my friend Alex, too, said it best, where he said that he wanted to like Suicide Squad. He really did, and I was the same. I was in the same boat. And at times, the game does do some really great things. It looks good. It feels good. It has some good cutscenes. The gameplay definitely sways back and forth. But once you hit the midpoint and go halfway in the story, you feel empty. You feel used up. You feel like the mission structure just eats at you, and you just can't get past the issue. And I think Alex has the best point there, because that's exactly how I feel. Were the boss fights unique? Sure, you could argue they're unique. They don't feel unique, though, because the gameplay feels the same. The enemies all feel the same. The weapons all feel the same. The death scenes, again, all feel the same way. And it's just annoying. Even with Superman, the most powerful superhero in DC, especially in the Arkham universe, okay? He is shot with kryptonite bullets and then flops over and dies immediately after you just shot and executioned Batman. That is the most, like, punched in the face I've felt while playing a game in a long time. Again, not because of the story concept, but because of the way they did it. They did it in such a boring, minute, detail-y way that it feels like it was written by freshmen in my fucking writing stories fantasy class, okay? It felt like a script that was written by a bunch of freshmen at my state university college. It didn't feel like it had that rock steady power. Arkham City ends, even Arkham Knight ends, in one of the coolest and most unique written ways that you could. Joker's death in Arkham City is still, in my opinion, the best death we've ever had in a superhero game, writing-wise, besides maybe Aunt May from Spider-Man 2018. And in this game, Batman is... He uses Scarecrow's fear toxin, which, I felt like it was going to be super cool and unique, and it ended up being jump, dodge, shoot, jump, dodge, shoot, jump, dodge, shoot, over and over and over and over again until you defeat his health bar, and then he just flops over and dies. Like you kill Scarecrow Batman, and you're like, oh, this is so cool. Now I can fight Batman in his real form. Maybe this game's going to turn it around. No, he's just dead, pretty much, which makes no sense to me. I don't even think that's how the fear toxin works, but it's a rock steady game. So they did it, and it's just so fucking disappointing. And then even if you get past all of that, you get past all of the repetitive side missions, there's like maybe 4 variations of side missions that are all the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You finally get past all of that. You get to Brainiac, and you're like, I'm going to mess this dude up, okay? He took some of my favorite characters in history and botched them. Let's mess him up. And it ends up literally being the Flash battle again. Brainiac runs around, you kill like a turret thing, and then you beat him up, he flops over, and you capture him. And then you find out he is one of 13. I understand that they want Suicide Squad to be a live service game. They want people to come back to it. They want people to keep enjoying it. That's really hard to do if the base game is written in the fashion that this game is written. And the ending of this game makes it probably like 5 times worse, because at about halfway through the Brainiac battle is when I realized that they were literally foregoing the ending just to set up post-launch content. That is one of the worst things you can do from a writer's standpoint. It's basically like they were making a Suicide Squad movie, and then in the last act, they just set up the next 3 movies instead of actually doing an ending. And instead of actually ending the game in a meaningful way, Brainiac gets zapped out of your possession, and then the fucking credits roll. They just roll. There's no like big impact. There's no like, oh, we did it, we stopped it. No, there's 13 more Brainiacs that you have to go kill, and that's if you want to do the same missions over and over and over and over and over and over again. It just makes no sense to me. But hey, you know, season 1, they're adding the Joker, so that might be, you know, that might fix it, or it might just be the same repetitive bullshit that the main game was. And that's what bothers me the most is these games, they feel like, oh, we're going to make so much money because we're going to get people to come back to the game and our investors are going to love it. It's bullshit because the main game is awful. It's so bad. It's boring. It's written poorly. Yeah, the graphics are nice. It's great to look at. It sounds good. The voice acting is cool, but the story elements are just not there. And I don't understand what the fuck went on in the writer's room for this game. Because Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and most of Arkham Knight are written fantastically well. Like, next level well. Like, innovate the game genre well. Set the blueprint well. And then Rocksteady, whoever's on the team now, saw the blueprints, scrunched them up, lit it on fire, tossed it out of an airplane window, and then blew up the airplane. See, that what I just described to you probably makes more sense than the direction they took this game. I'm not going to get into like the lore disrespect that they did in this game because I'm okay with games disrespecting lore. I'm okay with them changing things. That's just how it is. It's always going to be that way. It's always been that way. What I enjoy more though is when they have an explanation for it. Like, hey, maybe explain why Green Lantern's ring, when you killed him, didn't fly off to find another host. It just waited for King Shark to pick it up. That's not how it works, but hey, it's a video game. So these motherfuckers who give us the credit cards aren't going to care, but we are, we are. And I know there's these theories about, oh, they're clones. They're not the real Justice League. The real Justice League is going to show themselves at the very end of the last season of the game. We're not even going to get to that point. This game, I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to look it up because I do not care enough about it to do this. But this game, I'm pretty sure I watched a video where somebody talked about how this game already has one of the highest drop-offs a multiplayer game can have on Steam. That is not good. That's not a good look. It will never be a good look. It looks like Avengers. And honestly, it feels like Avengers to me. It feels like a looter-shooter, boring experience that you just get copy and pasted every few years. And again, with the whole clone theory bullshit thing, is if that's the route you're going to go, don't hide the route. Yes, there's a sick Batman Easter egg where if you find all the calendars and you do all this other post-work stuff, then it says he will rise again or he will return or some stupid bullshit to make you do and play the game longer. That's stupid. That's just dumb because 98% of the player base does not care. Most of us work full-time jobs. Most of us go to classes full-time still. Most of us have a spouse or a partner or families that we care to spend time with. I'm not going to waste my fucking time and effort to go out of my way to tell a story that you should have just told at the start. Makes absolutely zero sense to me. And it's actually, I'm getting angrier and angrier as this goes on and the more I think about it. Okay. I know this was kind of vile, and I was just kind of spitting for no reason, but I seriously mean no harm to the development team. It's hard because you have such strong feelings about something and about this game and about its world that, hold on, pause, I'm interrupting myself. Why did they make it the Arkham universe? Why? They just introduced a bunch of multiverses anyway. So why did they do it this way? Nothing about this game made sense. It felt like I was playing a Frankenstein's monster game because it felt like it was just fucking stitched together and they had no clue where the fuck it was going to go. Again, I don't want Rocksteady's like team to get hate or to get death threats. I think that shit is stupid. So if you're doing that shit, knock it off. But this is not a game that I will think I ever return to, just because I want to stand on my principle that the main game needs to be good enough to want me to come back to it. And it's not. This game it should have been a full game at release. I always feel that way about games. No matter what game, I'm always going to feel that way about it. I truly think that this was a waste of my time. And it sucks because I really like Rocksteady. I'm probably going to pre-order and get the next game that they make. I didn't pre-order this game, but I did buy it day one. And I'm probably going to play their next game. And it's probably going to be the same because nowadays most studios don't trend like they don't start off bad and then keep improving. Not when you have two of the best video games in terms of superheroes and single player games ever created in your closet, and then you don't touch their blueprints whatsoever. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to go play Uncharted to cleanse my palate because those are actually good games. And yeah, they're different genres. It's a single player game. I played Suicide Squad by myself. I played it with a full squad of friends. I played it with online people, and I played it with bots. And the entire time, I felt like I was in a fucking AI generated simulation. That's my hot take. Those are all my hot takes. I hope that Rocksteady learns from the criticism. I know, like, I'm just sitting here, like, kind of just swearing and going off on things I didn't like about the game. But I feel like I've made some valid points about the story structure of this game, the gameplay repetitiveness, the overuse of the facial animations because they wanted to show that that was the best part of the game. So they slowly do close-ups of every character 9 goddamn times after something happens. See, I can't even stop. I can't stop talking about it. I gotta go. I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you see my other videos, watch them. If you want to unsubscribe because I'm an angry little piece of shit, do that. Don't care. See you guys later. Bye.